I find the backstory to your character to be so fascinating. You make your debut in Milan, Italy, as a fan, and Umaga is in the middle of the ring with Vince McMahon, basically having an open challenge for the IC Championship, the Intercontinental Championship,
Yeah.
and you get chosen to face him in the middle of the ring. And very few people that are watching the show do not have a clue that you're not actually Italian.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I would drive in 2002. I worked downtown Toronto, so I would drive every day in traffic, and it was over an hour, hour and a half, somewhere between there. And I listened to an audio tape of Italian while I was in traffic just to kill some time. And they called me and they said, hey, because I was in developmental already. I was already signed to the WWE, but in a developmental capacity. And Vince had this idea for someone to come out of the crowd in Italy. So they looked at the roster and they're like, is anybody Italian? And Mike Bucci, who was Nova from ECW, he was, he was in talent relations and he knew me. So he knew that my real name was Anthony Corelli, which is very Italian. So they called me and they're like, can you speak Italian? So I just recited a few lines from the tape I would listen to in traffic. And it was enough to, get the opportunity and go to Italy and play this character. Also, like I mentioned earlier, because of all our parents were born in other countries, so I've always been around these accents, people that were English wasn't their first language and they would say things a little off and say things in a funny way. So really growing up in that neighborhood, Mississauga in the 80s and 90s with all these European people, it really gave me tons of material with regards to building the character, and developing the character of Santino.
It's just so amazing how you're able to take that and really make it your own. That you were there for what, 8, 9 years?
10 years.
10 years. It's amazing. You had angles with Beth Phoenix, Maria, even getting to do that whole WrestleMania bit where you played your sister, Santina, in the battle. How did they come up with that? I mean, that's just
Yeah. So, you know, we were playing that, dominant, that like the dominant story. Like I was insecure and I wanted to show her that men are better. So I was going to dress up as a girl, sneak into the women's battle royal, win the battle royal, and then, say, haha, men are better athletes. And it was supposed to be a one off, to be honest. But it ended up being so funny. We did it for like 3 months, I believe.
it's crazy. I mean, we talk about some of the angles that would not fly today.
Right.
That was it's hilarious like looking back and watching that because you were doing some incredible character work, being able to pull that off.